Hey Brianna, how's it going today?
All right. Thanks for letting me come in on such short notice.
Yeah, of course, anytime. My door's open whenever you can get into contact with me, so just feel free to give me a call or text whenever. So what brings you in?
I'm feeling very overwhelmed lately with, as I told you before, I moved here from a different state, and it's just me and my boyfriend here, and it was kind of my way of gaining independence. And now that I'm here, I'm really starting to just have these really weird thoughts, and I'm feeling like I'm like constantly worrying if like my loved ones are going to forget about me or if they're going to die. And I know that sounds really extreme, but I feel like even when I go home and visit now, I'm kind of just not really in the moment because I'm kind of just counting down the seconds till I have to say goodbye again, and I'm trying to like emotionally prep myself. And then when I come back home to Florida, I'm like super depressed.
Wow. That's a lot. That is a lot to feel. So what is bringing up those feelings for you?
I think it's a mixture of things. I think that even though I'm not old, I've experienced more death than most people my age have. So I feel like that's just kind of been what's set there. And then I also like have been noticing more like on Facebook and stuff, like just friends that are also, you know, your age, like all of a sudden their parents who are the same age as, you know, my mom and my dad, like they just dropped out of a heart attack one day. And like they had no illnesses or anything like leading up to it, they just died. And I think it makes me think like, oh my God, like did I make a mistake like moving here? Am I wasting precious time? It's very overwhelming because I want to be here to grow, but then I don't want to miss time with my family either.
So you came here for independence and trying to make a new life, and there's this other side of you that is really scared for your family and really worried.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know that these thoughts are, like you said, extreme, but they're still in your mind.
Yeah.
They're still taking over.
Yeah, and then it's almost hard to like kind of connect with like friends or even my boyfriend because they don't know what real loss feels like. So they kind of can't, they're almost not vulnerable. Like they haven't been through it, so they don't get it. And so I kind of feel like I just sometimes have to like keep it in, and because I don't want to appear like I'm being like a downer or like super depressed. But these thoughts do consume me sometimes, especially right after a visit home. It's like weeks after that. I don't stop crying, honestly.
Wow. And you feel like nobody around you can relate to this theme and this just impending thought of death. It sounds like there's just a pattern of some really hard death that you've experienced in your life, and that can be overwhelming, like you said.
Yeah, and I feel like that was a part of the reason why I left home too. It was because I was consumed with memories and reminded of the things that I lost, and it was just a very depressing environment. And then I feel like I kind of came here to just get a new start and like a new really focus on me and school and, you know, working on my career. And but these thoughts, they just still come. And I can't, it can be, I mean, my best friend, she died almost 15 years ago now, and the thoughts are just still there. I mean, a lot's happened since that time, but it's just, I feel like I'm always a part of me feels like I can't enjoy living because I'm always thinking about the people that have passed or are going to pass. So I always feel like I kind of put up this like wall to even get close to anyone else because I can't go through that anymore.
Yeah. That has to be so hard.
It is. It's really tough.
Extremely difficult. Grief is not an easy process. And I wonder, have you had time to sort through those memories that you talked about?
Yeah, I think about them all the time, and then I almost find myself getting in this pattern where I start feeling touch with my spirituality because it almost feels like there has been many times where I feel like almost God has it out for me. It's like everything I love is just kind of taken away, and you kind of start feeling sorry for yourself and feeling very victimized, and then that's a horrible feeling, and then it just spirals from there. And I just don't want to lose anyone else, and I know that's a process of life, and I have, really worked on, gaining back my spirituality and understanding that, better purpose, and understanding that, they're in a new life now and coming to accept that. But it's almost like I don't try to gain new friends because all my other ones died, and I can't go through that again. So I almost like block myself off so that I don't have to go through that ever again. But then at the same sense, it gets lonely because you also don't build a connection with anyone that way either.
Yeah. Blocking it out and just putting up a wall. So you've told me that you have explored some spirituality and that's been part of the process, but what other ways have you been processing this really deep, sad grief?
I honestly, that's probably not very good the way I do things, but I feel like when I'm in a mood, instead of doing like positive things that might lift my spirit, I almost feel like I kind of suck myself more in. So I'll get in the car and I'll start listening to like sad songs, and then I get more sad, and then it turns into almost a whole thing because I am clearly upset about something and I'm holding something in, and then I go home, and then my significant other, he says what's wrong, and there's no possible way in my head that you could understand what's going on. And then I also don't want it to come across like I'm crazy to anyone, which is like a really big fear of mine, is pushing the ones I do have away because they think I'm crazy, or that I'm just sucking the life out of the room, or bringing them down. I don't want to do that.
You get those moments where you get to just let it out and just cry it out, but then when it comes to the ones who are very close to you, it comes back in, and you feel like you have to keep it in. Have you had any conversations with anyone close to you about these thoughts that have been going on?
Just my mom, and I think that's why it was so difficult leaving, because it's like I'm leaving the only person that really gets me or knows me and doesn't judge me. So that's where it kind of got like difficult to leave, but I knew that I needed to. My mom was a single mom growing up, and we're so close. I'm so grateful for that, but it's almost like I couldn't do anything alone or make a decision on my own without like her guidance. And I knew that she knew that I had to leave to kind of spread my wings and figure out who I am as a person. But now that I'm here, I'm just like, whoa, this is a lot. It's a lot of raw emotion that maybe I didn't deal with when I should have. And now I'm like, oh no. Here we are.
Yeah. And that raw emotion might be really uncomfortable.
It's the worst. It is the worst. It is It's honestly like, there's days I don't want to get out of bed because it's just so bad. And then I know that, I don't want to come across as like I'm lazy, or it's just that sometimes I feel like all the energy is just completely left my body and I can't move. It's like you're frozen in the past, really. I'm never present, basically.
Just always thinking about this theme.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, you say that you're feeling frozen and you're feeling stuck. The whole reason why you moved here is actually the opposite of that, right?
Yeah.
And so where does that put you?
In one sense, and so on one hand, I'm really, really proud of myself to even do this, because about 5 years ago I felt uncomfortable going to a store by myself, and then on the other hand, I just feel so it's strange, because in one sense it's exposed but feels so closed off at the same time, and feel like I need to just get it out, but like don't know how to do it in a healthy way, and I almost like don't want it to. I'm scared of unscrewing the bottle cap and exploding to almost to be uncontrollable. So I kind of I want to let it out, but I don't want to get consumed by it.
Feel it all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I want you to do something kind of weird. You got the one hand, okay? The one hand of, you've gotten out there. You used to be so afraid. This other hand, you're afraid of it just exploding everywhere. What would it look like to put the two together?
It would probably be a happy medium. It would probably make me feel better, but then also not make me come across so closed off to everyone around me, because I can feel it, that they feel like they can't get close to me almost, like and that's not a good feeling. I honestly I miss being close with people, and I think that's maybe why I'm so stuck in the past, because I miss having that connection with as someone other than myself. And I almost feel like I have too much weight on my shoulders, because I think I'm putting too much pressure on myself to keep it together. And because I also don't want to make it look like I can't handle this, and I don't, it's not the move that I can't handle. I think it's just I can't handle losing someone else.
Right.
So I think that really just, like you said, mixing them together would kind of bring me to peace, and maybe talking to my boyfriend about it. He might not have been through it, but I guess that means that doesn't mean he's not going to be sympathetic to it or listen.
And that's a hard thing to do. So next time, as we're wrapping up the session, we can explore how to do that. Grief is a hard thing, and takes a long time to process, and it may not ever go away. This is more of a process, and I'm honored to be a part of this process with you.
Thank you so much. I'll tell you what happens next time.
All right. Thank you, Brianna. See you.
Bye.